the stick. See the stick? Go get the stick. Go fetch.
Mike, this isn't Boo's door.
Boo? What's Boo?
That's what I decided to call her. Is there a problem?
So, you're not supposed to name it. Once you name it, you start getting attached to it. Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me! Oh, hey!
Check the chat.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's Chuckster chat is going to be a slightly different discussion. When I first started Chuckster chat, I kind of proposed the idea that I would be talking about current events going on within the Chuck E. Cheese fandom. And for the most part, I think I've only done that once. Besides that, I've only really ever touched things that involved the entertainment department. But this video is going to be kind of a fusion of the two. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, actually. I've been meaning to make a bunch of videos for a while, actually. I guess the main reason why I just haven't gotten to uploading it is because I'm not really sure what I wanted to title the video. I know that sounds silly, but I wanted to name it Why the Fandom Doesn't Like Bella B. But I want to speak for myself as much as possible. Even though I know the majority of the fans do share my same opinion, I'm just going to be speaking for myself and from my own perspective. But I'll try and put some insights on from what I've seen going on in the fandom. As you may have guessed from the title of the video, or if you were listening to me about 0.3 seconds ago, today we are going to be discussing why I do not like Bella B as a character. Bella B, only being known as Bella back then, made her official debut in the January 2018 show in the song Bailando. From what I understand, Corporate reached out to Matt Daniel and asked him to create a character who spoke in another language. That's it. Corporate asked Matt Daniel to do something, and Matt Daniel delivered by doing his job. Honestly, I can tell most people probably do not know this because Matt Daniel gets so much hate that is not even warranted. Most people, including me at one point in time, actually believed that the idea of Bella B came from Matt's own brain and decided to plug her in the show. While some of the smaller details might have came from Matt Daniel himself, the idea for a bilingual character in the show was brought by Corporate, not Matt Daniel. Bella debuted with Bailando, and honestly, I feel like this song gets so much more hate than what it actually deserves. Like, at the time, it was bad, and I'm still not advocating for it or anything, but it's really not that bad. And I mean, the music is actually pretty decent if you listen to it. The music video is great. Pretty much immediately after she got brought into the public light, she was pretty much hated all across the board from the fandom. You couldn't really find any real Bella fans that weren't literally under the age of 10 in the fandom. Like, don't get me wrong, you for sure had your real Bella fans, but they wouldn't dare speak upon it because if they did, the fandom would lose their shit. After that, Bella wouldn't be seen anymore on the channel. It was almost as if she just mysteriously disappeared, or as if she never even moved into the new city or wherever the band is supposed to be. Everything was normal. Until the summer of 2019, Bella was brought back with a brand new puppet and voice actor, this time officially being known as Bella B, essentially a Cardi B parody. With this new slight change in direction for the character, the fandom pretty much didn't receive it well either. Most fans were vocal about still not appreciating the character and how Matt should stop throwing his own character into the band and trying to pass her off as one of them. After the song Play All You Can Play, Bella would pretty much only be featured in small skits alongside the band and would be having cameos in other songs as well. She did lead in the song El Rey Guitarrista, but let's be honest, the song was released during a pretty dark point for the company and everyone who remembers it. I mean, I'm not saying that the song itself is bad. The music video is very nice. I absolutely love the new Mike puppet. And that guitar solo. You guys are killing it with the guitar solos. It's just not something that I personally catch myself listening to on Spotify. And that leads us up to now. Somebody leaked an image of this from the Pop Kits into all the stores for the Halloween Bootaccular. And needless to say, fans were not happy. Many people were in uproar, and they grabbed their pitchforks and torches and marched away into the sunset. But you know what? Something strange actually happened during this uproar with fans not liking this new CGI rendering of Bella B. Get it? Bella B. Cause she's a bee. I started to see a lot more actual fans of Bella come out and tell people to stop hating on the character so much. Before this, I haven't really seen that many people actually say, hey, the character isn't that bad, or at least not completely crap on it every time they talk about it or someone brings it up. There have been a couple fans that have liked it from the start, but for the most part, the narrative has always been Bella bad. So then of course, that brings the question, why don't fans like Bella B? Why don't I like Bella B? This is the part of the video where I'll put in my own 2 cents and use my own opinion. You want my opinion? Alright, here it is. I don't hate Bella B. As a character, I really don't mind her. I mean, yeah, she has a few flaws that I'll go over in a minute, but her presence in the show doesn't bug me. Like, every time she comes out on screen, I'm not raging with steam coming out of my ears and foam rushing out of my mouth. In all honesty, I really hate crapping on Bailando as much as I did back in the day, because the song, looking back on it now in present day, isn't horrible. It wasn't the best, but honestly, in comparison to some things, I'd say it's not that bad. In all reality, for the most part, Bella tends to bring a decent addition to the songs. So why don't I like Bella B? Well, it's simple, because at this current point in time, her presence is really starting to be expanded. And before you guys say anything, like, hear me out, I'm completely open to change. You can only do one thing for so long until it gets stale. I understand the point of wanting to add in new characters and such, but guess what? We already have an entire huge roster of side characters and puppets that haven't seen daylight for years. But this one new girl shows up to the block, and automatically they're trying to pass her off as one of the bandmates. In all reality, it's not a huge deal. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to be that guy, you know, teenager / grown man crying on the internet about a Spanish bunny that Chuck E. Cheese brought into their shows. Like, it's really not a big deal. I just simply think it's an over addition and unnecessary. If you're going to add a new member to the band, you know who does deserve to be added? This guy, Steve Waters. I missed the earlier Rockstar shows when Steve Waters was present. The characters usually had good chemistry to work off with. His style of music and his singing was absolutely amazing. The fans sorta had someone older to relate to. I want to make a video covering Steve Waters, but that's neither here nor there. Like, take Ronnie the Unicorn for example. He's practically the perfect example of a character that doesn't necessarily overstay their welcome, if that makes sense. Regardless of what your opinion is on the character, I feel like he just strikes the perfect balance. He's in a couple of songs. He's fairly prevalent in a handful of skits, some of which have seen the millions marks on YouTube. He's featured proudly on the Unicorn Churros. He's overall a very marketable character, which I'm surprised they haven't made him real yet, but let's be honest. I don't think anybody wants to see a CGI Ronnie the Unicorn anytime soon.
He can't hurt me, he doesn't exist, la la la.
I don't necessarily hate Bella as a character. However, I do need to point out a couple of flaws with her that do hinder me from fully being able to call myself a fan of Bella. When it comes to Bella, it seems like the only time she's present is to, well, speak Spanish. And I know that's the whole reason why she's even on the shows to begin with, but I feel like there's just gotta be a more original way to go about it. I've been seeing around in the fandom that people are comparing Bella and her role in the show as pretty much a Dora the Explorer Sesame Street knockoff. And while I wouldn't really explain it like that using my own words, I can kind of very well see that, yes. Bella kind of follows the trope of continuing a sentence in English, then we'll choose a random word to say in Spanish. This isn't inherently bad. Obviously, it's meant to teach Spanish to kids, but I know the entertainment department can do something a little more creative than this. For example, take when Bella very first came into the Chuck E. Cheese cinematic universe. She was joining Helen in school. Well, why not just continue with that? I mean, they should have the sets, right? Why not just have a segment with Bella in a classroom setting where she comes up to the front either from the teacher's request or she's leading the class in Spanish lessons. That way she has her own skit, potentially giving some runtime to the side characters and generally just making Bella's character stand out more. Another issue I have with Bella, but this can honestly be a stem of all of the characters, is the lack of personality. I mean, all of the characters seem to fit inside of specific cardboard cutouts. Chucky used to be an asshole, but now he's essentially just some chill, excited and happy guy to be around. He's sort of preachy, something that they were trying to avoid initially. Helen has no personality whatsoever. She's just female Chucky who spreads positivity and says that she's a gamer but literally never touches any video games.
Yes! First place! Yes! First place! Yes! First place!
Munch is a dumbass. That's it. Jasper also has no personality whatsoever. Back in the Avenger days, he used to be fairly sarcastic and was always quick to throw jabs at the other characters in a fun, lighted way.
Well, alright, lay it on me.
What sound do porcupines make when they kiss?
I don't know, what sound?
Ouch!
That's a good one, Pasquale.
I should have known. I make that same sound, Pasquale, after all of your jokes.
Touché.
Rockstar Jasper really doesn't have any of that unless the script calls for it, which is very rare. He can be seen doing things that are very out of character for him, and if the script calls for it, he'll pretty much just fill in a role as any other background character. And Pasquale is dumbass number 2. To be fair, Pasquale actually legitimately does have more of a personality than some of the other characters in the band, but he's still considered a one-trick pony because the script often only calls for him to do his Pasquale laugh in a comedian scene, which he can barely even do anymore. Like back in the Avenger days, he used to be quick and high-pitched.
Hey, that was wonderful.
Oh, that was good.
That sounded great. Hey, Chucky, that was a great song.
Yeah, Chuck, it sure was.
Oh, I love that song.
Oh, yeah, great tune.
Now it just sounds like whenever he does the laugh, like he's just straining his vocal cords so much they're begging for mercy.
Oh, Pasquale, I'm so funny. Some might even say I'm bananas.
When it comes down to Bella B, she's easily just described as Dora Bunny. When you already have a cast of characters with really stiff personalities, and adding in one more, you're not really doing anything or progressing anything. Make Chucky an asshole again, but you know, a child-friendly asshole. Let Helen actually play video games and talk about them. Every time she's on the screen, she doesn't need to be spreading positivity. Munch can have his own separate video, but essentially just tone it down a bit. And whatever happened to his obsession with pizza? Jasper could be the comedic relief again, and Pasquale would really work if he was, in some ways, I might get a little bit of flack for this, a boomer. In the Bootacular bumpers with Munch, the dialogue that they had, I think that would work really well with Pasquale's character because he's an older guy. I know it was just an easy scene, probably shot in Matt Daniels' backyard during the pandemic, but whatever happened to Bella's garden? Give her a personality trait revolving around that. If you really want to make her a part of the band, you're going to have to try harder than that because I already forgot what instrument she's supposed to be playing. Wasn't it like the bongos or the maracas or something? And I guess that really stems to my final biggest issue with Bella B is she's just kind of really an unnecessary addition. One of the biggest arguments I saw when the Bella B CGI model first was leaked was that people were only hating on it because they thought it looked bad, which is completely false. Nobody in their right mind actually thinks the design is bad. I think we can all universally agree that the design is good. It's the fact that the design is good is why people are upset. For almost the past decade, we've been recycling the same handful of cheap poses for each character. Most characters only having like 2 or 3 poses while Chuck keeps the same 20 or so. And even then on the marketing, he's only limited to like 5. We would much rather see new poses of the other characters before we bring in character models of existing characters that only exist in the shows, if that makes sense. And while yeah, there was a new studio picked up in order to do this 3D model of Bella, which means we could potentially be seeing more models of the other characters in the future, where we're at right now is just so abysmal. Like, take the Jasper poses, and now we've got a Bella pose, and we have all these things that they're not focusing on in the shows, like characters not getting enough screen time, side characters that haven't been seen in years. Almost no stores have walkarounds other than Chucky, and the stores that do never have the full band. The 2.0 grand reopenings are only allowed to keep the characters for that day, but we already know that they're currently designing a Bella walkaround. I was honestly joking, but I would not be surprised to see a Bella plush before we get a Pasquale plush. If they actually do make a Chuck E. Cheese TV series or movie, you already know Bella is going to be in it. Now, does this make me angry? Does Bella's presence in the shows make me angry? Again, no. It really is not that serious, who cares? But I just personally think that they should be doing more with her character. Matt Daniel gets a lot of hate that is completely unwarranted because of Bella, and I just want to say that that's not fair. One last thing though. An argument I also saw when people were discussing their distaste for Bella B was, if you dislike Bella, you're just a racist. And my response to that argument is, no.
As a matter of fact, a good reason why a lot of people don't like Bella is because they're trying very hard to essentially replace Pasquale with Bella. And this shows in a lot of the newer promotional art inside of the stores.
The only times I've seen anything remotely similar to those comments were from people who often have hot takes in the fandom, so their opinion is pretty much irrelevant to begin with. As the general standing goes, no one that dislikes Bella is actively racist. Not from what I've seen at least. But I want to get your opinion on Bella B. Do you like her in the shows? Do you wish that she would be cut back a little bit? I personally feel like if they give her a little more chance to grow and speak with some of the other characters, try pairing her up with Jasper or Pasquale sometimes, even some of the other characters like Mike, Ronnie, Nigel, pair her up with them and see how the chemistry works with them. Give me an actual reason to like Bella. I'm trying. I don't want to dislike Bella B, but currently I just don't like where she's headed. Anyways guys, that'll be it for this one. Have a great day and thank you for watching. See you on my next Chuckster chat.